Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing. And our guest today is Kara Goldin, the CEO and founder of Hint. Kara, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think you have an interesting story. And tell us how Hint got started. I think that's really an interesting part of what we're covering today.
Yeah, so I had a career in technology. I was at AOL years ago, and after leaving AOL and trying to figure out what I wanted to do next, I found that I wasn't as healthy as I wanted to be. And everything from low energy to adult acne and extra weight. And basically looked at everything that I was eating and drinking and had really the most frequency with Diet Coke. And decided, what if I make a change from diet soda to drinking plain water? What kind of changes would I see? And what I figured out was eliminating sweeteners for me did lots of amazing things and actually made me healthier. And when I looked for this product in the market that had water with just a little bit of flavor in it, everything had a sweetener in it, whether it was sugar or at that time, aspartame, NutraSweet, today stevia. And so I really believed that there was a need in the marketplace for a product that didn't have sweeteners in it, that made me healthy and could potentially make other people healthy too.
That's interesting. Now, it's interesting to me because so many people view stevia as a healthy sweetener, that you reject all sweeteners, including stevia. Tell me about the logic for that.
So I think a lot of, look, anytime you put a sweetener into your body, it does things to your insulin levels. So whether you're, diabetic or not, it changes the insulin levels within your body. And so while so many consumers are focused on 0 calories, I really believe that it's about what is happening inside your body and the different levels that are spiking inside your body. And that's the challenge with whether it's stevia or any other sweetener like sugar today, is how much is it actually spiking? And today in America, almost half of the people in the US today have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, and it's growing at a rate of 27% per year, which is just absolutely nuts. And I believe that so much of our food today, as well as beverages, are sweetened with something. And our goal is really to bring people back to clearer ingredients, transparency, and getting people to do what they can to, if not eliminate sweeteners altogether, which frankly I think is totally impossible in today's environment, really focus on limiting and making it a smaller part of your diet versus a larger part of your diet.
Sure. So what kind of health responses are your customers sharing with you?
So it's interesting. I mean, we launched almost 11 years ago now in stores like Whole Foods. We're also available in places like Publix, et cetera, across the US, National and Kroger, et cetera. And then we launched in Google here in Silicon Valley, where I'm based. And the response at Google was so amazing. Consumers were telling us, like, look, we don't want to drink the diet sodas or the, other enhanced waters that are out there with sweeteners, because what we really want to do is drink water. But we believe that water is boring for a lot of people. And basically by drinking Hint, they were drinking a lot more water. In addition to that, we ended up hearing from a lot of consumers that they had health issues that they were trying to deal with. Sometimes, not issues that they necessarily have to have medication for, like a type 2 diabetes, for example, but things that they're trying to get under control, like weight loss, or we have a number of cancer patients who started drinking our product that really wanted to get rid of the sweeteners because they don't necessarily trust not just having sugar, which clearly has an increased risk of getting cancer back if you've had cancer, but things like stevia that people aren't quite so sure about. because they don't really know what effects that's having on the body or on diseases such as cancer. So at the end of the day, what we're really doing and what we're hearing from consumers is helping them live the best, healthiest life that they can. And more important, we're helping people read ingredients on labels, which is today necessary, I believe, to really understand not just what you're putting into your body, but also potentially what you're putting on your body. As I said to somebody the other day, we're all so interested in what we're putting in our cars, yet we're not so interested in what we're putting on our body, and which is just kind of crazy.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the story of how this went from product to enterprise.
So it was a journey. As I mentioned, we started the company about 11 years ago, and I had no idea that in addition to starting a new product, I was also starting a new category. And my initial store was Whole Foods here in San Francisco. And when I got it on the shelf at Whole Foods in the cold case in San Francisco, I got a phone call actually in the hospital. I was having my fourth child. And when I was in the hospital, the Whole Foods gentleman called me and said, the 10 cases are gone from the case. And I said, who took them? And he said, no, I mean, they sold out. You sold out of your 10 cases. And so it was, that was definitely the first spot. And along the way, as I mentioned, we went into places such as Google. We've now gone into many hospitals, many colleges. And finally, about 20 months ago, we launched our own e-commerce initiative. So you can now order Hint directly from our website at drinkhint.com. And we even have a subscription program that you can get on the subscription program to buy it weekly or monthly. We have 23 different flavors. So there's never if you're sick of one flavor, you can always move over to another flavor. And, we really emphasize that drinking water or drinking Hint is really the best thing to do to get yourself to the healthiest point that you can be.
So you took the phone call while you were in the hospital, having just had or were about to have your fourth child. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay.
Crazy entrepreneur, right?
Yes, I get that. I get that. That's fantastic. Well, it's interesting. You're set up as a for-profit business. You've got this great passion for social enterprise. What's your take on this question of whether it's good, reasonable, or fair to make a profit while trying to drive some social good?
So I think that if you can make a profit by doing social good in a way that really is truly good for the environment and good for people and in a social way, I think that that's the best thing that you could possibly do. And it's I think for us, our social mission is really to help people get healthier. And we know that we're doing that. And I think that that's the best thing you could possibly ask for.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, listen, I want to take advantage of the opportunity while I've got you to ask you some personal questions, to get some insights from you as an entrepreneur and a role model. But as people, look up to you a lot, you had a lot of press coverage. You'll be keynoting the Social Venture Network Spring Conference. I mean, you're a big deal. Who do you look up to? Who inspires you?
So I was thinking about this question this morning, and I think one person that I always look back on in true admiration is Anita Roddick, who passed away, a few years ago. She's the founder of The Body Shop, for those that don't know. And I think for me, in addition to all of the stuff that she did with animal rights outside of her company, I believe that she was the first one for me that really focused on ingredients and what is wrong with our products and working to really disrupt an industry around skincare that was truly broken. And she did it in a way that me as a consumer really listened to. There wasn't, medical, this doctor said this doctor said this. This was, here are the ingredients that are in this product. Here is what I believe will actually help you with whatever skin issue there is. And, she built an amazing company, so inspirational to me. But also I loved the fact that she was able to really talk simply and make progress.
Yeah, that's incredible. She really was an early pioneer of social entrepreneurship, very cause-driven, purpose-driven woman who scaled an enormous business. Really a great role model to choose. As we think about health, and especially sugar and sweeteners and the risk of diabetes, what brings you to this cause? I understand why it's important to strive to be healthier. I understand the risks of sugar, but what was it that brought you to this? Why do you care about it?
So I truly believe that it was a calling for me that, as I mentioned, I was not in the beverage industry. I didn't come from a Coke or Pepsi or, General Mills or Kraft background. This came from a place where I, really wanted to get myself healthier. And I believed that I had been tricked by so many companies' messages that were telling me that this is, low calorie, going to make you healthier. This is, energy. This is acai. This is all of these benefits. And frankly, as a consumer, I was just a little worn out by all of the marketing messages and jargon that I felt like I'd been listening to, and it wasn't doing anything to actually give me a healthier self. And so when I finally said to myself, time out, let me really, really look at what's in my pantry and what's in my refrigerator and, not take medications that doctors were more than willing to give me, I really realized that this was the way to do it. And so by, really simplifying my life and really understanding ingredients, a lot changed for me. As I said, energy levels were higher. Lots of things like my adult acne, which I'd never had throughout my life, and suddenly I did have, as well as weight loss. And so just by cleaning up what I was eating and drinking, in 4 months, I lost over 40 pounds, and wow, which is pretty incredible. And so, I had been not one of these people who had been dieting, but really had sort of progressively gained weight over, a 10-year period after college. And I was one that really believed if I wanted to get the weight off, I needed to work out more and also watch my calorie intake. But I realized that wasn't working because instead I was loading up on sweeteners, which ultimately I think were, slowly killing me.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, one last question for you, Kara. We ask all of our guests to give us an impact hack, some tip that we can use in our lives to do more good. What's yours?
So I found that when I've made the most progress in any aspect, not only of my business career, but also from being a parent, it's really been about breaking rules or not fully stopping and understanding the rules. When we first launched Hint, we found that there were more than enough people to tell us that we were doing something wrong, that we couldn't produce a product that didn't have preservatives in it and actually get it on the shelf and be successful. Lots of examples for me on how I really should have stopped at that point, but instead I listened. I didn't fully absorb what people were saying, and I just went. And so I believe we're in a society where people feel like rules are set up and we cannot do anything to adjust to those rules. We really need to follow them, and that is not what disruption is about. That's not what entrepreneurism entrepreneurism is about. And frankly, it's not what social entrepreneurism is about. It's about looking at things that need adjusting and going and doing it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, it's just so important to go and do it. That's right. Now, Kara, before you go, and we're out of time, but before you go, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you can go to our website at drinkhint.com. And I'm also on Twitter at HintWaterCEO, and also on Facebook at Kara Goldin, Goldin.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Kara, for being with us today. We wish you every success in improving the health of the world.
Thanks so much, Devin, for having me. Goodbye, everyone.
Let's do some good.